Xie Sui'an thought his biggest problem at work was his rivalry with Jiang Yu. Until two mysterious eggs suddenly appeared on his bed. One unexpected incident pulled the two of them into a bond neither of them could explain. While Xie Sui'an kept trying to believe it was all just a misunderstanding, Jiang Yu quietly protected him from dangers he could not even see. Just when everything seemed to be settling down, an unexpected decision at work began to change the distance between them. The promotion did not go to the employee with the highest evaluation, and the one who willingly stepped aside was Jiang Yu. Before the truth behind that decision could be revealed, a company party pushed everything beyond anyone's expectations. After just one night, Jiang Yu was forced to reveal his true identity. The man who had always stood beside Xie Sui'an was not entirely human. The two mysterious eggs also began to reveal an origin that left them both speechless. But just as the truth started to unfold, the eggs vanished without a trace. Their search quickly led them to a hidden force that was hunting serpent spirits from the shadows. To save Jiang Yu and recover the missing eggs, Xie Sui'an had no choice but to step into a world he had never believed existed. But the answer they found was even harder to accept than everything that had happened before. Jiang Yu's grandfather offered only one solution: marriage. But that was only the beginning, because their greatest challenge was still waiting ahead. After taking a few days off, Xie Sui'an finally returned to work, pretending that everything was back to normal. But the moment they met, Jiang Yu noticed that he still did not look fully recovered. Calmly, Jiang Yu reminded Xie Sui'an not to push himself if he was not feeling well yet. Xie Sui'an immediately brushed it off. To him, losing his attendance bonus was even worse than taking sick leave. With no other choice, the two of them continued working together on the company's most important project. In the meeting room, they quickly fell into perfect teamwork, with each idea naturally building on the others. Just a few suggestions from Jiang Yu made Xie Sui'an's proposal significantly stronger, but when their eyes accidentally met, the atmosphere suddenly became difficult to describe. Xie Sui'an quickly looked away, trying to hide the uneasy feeling that always surfaced whenever Jiang Yu was close. But after the meeting, an unexpected revelation left him completely stunned. A coworker told him that during his days off, Jiang Yu had voluntarily taken over all of his workload. Not only that, but he had also asked everyone not to call or disturb Xie Sui'an so he could get proper rest. The person Xie Sui'an had always seen as his greatest rival had been quietly helping him all along without asking for any credit. Their co-workers even joked that the two team leaders worked together like a perfect couple. Xie Sui'an immediately denied it, but deep down, he was no longer as certain as before. At that moment, a memory from years ago suddenly came rushing back. Back in high school, Jiang Yu had coldly told him that Xie Sui'an's pheromones made him feel uncomfortable. Those words had stayed with Xie Sui'an for years, making Jiang Yu's recent behavior even harder to understand. By late afternoon, the workday finally came to an end, and everyone began heading home. A coworker warned that a major storm was expected that night and suggested Xie Sui'an leave early, but the rain arrived even sooner than the forecast had predicted. Xie Sui'an tried several times to book a ride, but every attempt failed. With no other choice, he prepared to run through the rain and make his way home. Just then, a familiar voice called out from behind him. Jiang Yu walked toward him through the rain and calmly said, "I am heading the same way. Let me give you a ride." Xie Sui'an froze. Should he keep his distance from the man he had always disliked, or trust Jiang Yu for the very first time? On the way home, Xie Sui'an could not stop wondering why Jiang Yu had shown up at exactly the right moment during the storm. Even though Jiang Yu simply said he was heading the same way, the timing still felt far too perfect. Just as Xie Sui'an's stomach growled with hunger, an awkward silence filled the car. Without saying much, Jiang Yu quietly handed him a sandwich he had already prepared. Xie Sui'an accepted it and softly thanked him, but his thoughts became even more tangled. For the rest of the drive, neither of them said much. The car stopped in front of Xie Sui'an's home. Just as the rain began to ease, he got out, thanked Jiang Yu once again, and watched the car disappear into the night. But the moment Jiang Yu left the neighborhood, he realized someone was following him. A silent killing intent emerged from the darkness. Jiang Yu calmly spoke, telling the hidden figure to reveal himself. The mysterious cloaked stranger stepped forward, making his intentions perfectly clear. He was determined to seize Jiang Yu's life seed at any cost. The moment Jiang Yu heard those words, his expression turned ice cold. Seconds later, a fierce battle between two serpent demons erupted under the night sky. Their attacks collided again and again, shaking the entire forest. The mysterious attacker thought victory was within reach, but everything changed in the decisive moment. A gigantic serpent suddenly appeared, forcing the attacker to retreat again and again. After realizing that Jiang Yu was no longer carrying the life seed, the cloaked figure had no choice but to flee. Jiang Yu silently watched him disappear before calmly withdrawing his power. The next morning, the company returned to its usual busy routine. While Xie Sui'an was still revising some documents, the entire office suddenly erupted with excitement over a new announcement. Everyone crowded around the newly posted promotion list. His co-workers confidently said that Jiang Yu was almost certain to receive the promotion this year. Even Xie Sui'an believed there would be no surprises. But when he looked at the announcement, he froze in shock. The person who had been promoted was Xie Sui'an himself. What Xie Sui'an did not know was that the promotion was far from a simple decision, and the person quietly working behind the scenes might have been Jiang Yu all along. News of Xie Sui'an's promotion spread throughout the company, and his co-workers immediately gathered to congratulate him, leaving him completely stunned. Everyone believed he was the winner, but Xie Sui'an had only one question: why was he the one who had been chosen? Without wasting another moment, he decided to find Jiang Yu and get an answer. In his hurry, Xie Sui'an accidentally bumped straight into Jiang Yu in the hallway. Jiang Yu simply steadied him calmly, as if the promotion did not concern him at all. That only made Xie Sui'an feel even more guilty. He hesitantly told Jiang Yu about the promotion, but Jiang Yu simply smiled and sincerely congratulated him. That calm reaction shattered all of Xie Sui'an's assumptions in an instant. He insisted that he did not want a victory that came at someone else's expense. After saying that, Xie Sui'an turned around and headed straight to President Zhou's office to give up the promotion. But President Zhou simply laughed, explaining that Xie Sui'an was already the second person to decline it. It turned out that Jiang Yu had also chosen to give up the opportunity. According to the evaluation, Jiang Yu had scored slightly higher than Xie Sui'an, yet he had personally recommended his rival instead. In Jiang Yu's eyes, Xie Sui'an was the better person to lead the entire team. He believed that Xie Sui'an's ability to bring people together and his strong sense of responsibility mattered more than a small difference in scores. Hearing that, Xie Sui'an was left speechless. The person he had always considered his greatest rival had quietly cleared the way for him to move forward. President Zhou ended the conversation with a smile and reminded him that the new position also came with nearly a 30% salary increase. As he left the office, Xie Sui'an could think of only one thing: he needed to thank Jiang Yu properly. But the more he thought about it, the more embarrassed he felt about how cold he had been toward Jiang Yu all this time. Just then, a company-wide celebration party was announced. Xie Sui'an decided that this would be the perfect chance to thank Jiang Yu in person. The celebration quickly turned into a drinking party for the newly promoted manager. One drink after another left Xie Sui'an with almost no strength to keep up. Unable to take it anymore, he excused himself to get some fresh air and escape the crowd. But when he looked around the banquet hall, the one person he wanted to see was nowhere to be found. In another corner of the party, Jiang Yu was surrounded by a group of Omegas chatting with him. A strange feeling suddenly rose in Xie Sui'an's heart, and he had no idea that this emotion was about to change everything in the next chapter. During the party, Jiang Yu quietly went to look for Xie Sui'an. After learning that he was out on the balcony, Xie Sui'an stood there alone, silently gazing into the night with a half-finished glass in his hand. Jiang Yu walked over, congratulated him on his promotion, and raised his glass. But Xie Sui'an did not happily accept those congratulations. He asked directly why Jiang Yu had given up the opportunity and let him have the position. Jiang Yu calmly replied that the person best suited for the role deserved it. Xie Sui'an fell silent before raising his own glass, taking it as his first sincere thank you to his longtime rival. Seeing Jiang Yu holding a drink, he could not help bringing up the incident at the previous company party. But Jiang Yu had no memory of what had happened that night. Xie Sui'an suddenly realized that he was the only one still carrying those strange memories. He quickly changed the subject, though he still could not calm his thoughts. The two of them stood side by side for a long time, with only the night breeze and silence surrounding them. By the time the party ended, Xie Sui'an was so drunk that he could barely walk on his own. Jiang Yu decided to take him home and looked after him along the way. But the closer they got, the more their pheromones made the atmosphere difficult to ignore. Feeling both uncomfortable and disoriented, Xie Sui'an unconsciously pulled Jiang Yu closer. Jiang Yu struggled to keep his instincts under control, afraid that losing control would only make things worse. Xie Sui'an accidentally mentioned the time Jiang Yu had once marked him. Those words left Jiang Yu completely stunned. He genuinely could not remember ever doing such a thing. Xie Sui'an felt both embarrassed and frustrated, as though he alone had been left carrying all those memories. Still affected by the alcohol, he grabbed Jiang Yu by the collar, insisting that things had to be made fair. The distance between them grew smaller and smaller until neither of them could remain completely calm. Just then, Xie Sui'an suddenly noticed something behind Jiang Yu. A massive serpent's tail had appeared. Xie Sui'an cried out in shock, and Jiang Yu had no choice but to reveal part of his true form to explain. He admitted that he was a serpent spirit, but he had never intended to harm anyone. Xie Sui'an's entire view of the world was shaken within seconds. Then he suddenly remembered the two mysterious eggs that had been with him all this time. Xie Sui'an immediately asked whether they had anything to do with Jiang Yu. The moment Jiang Yu heard him mention the two eggs, his expression changed instantly. After a few seconds of silence, he looked directly at Xie Sui'an, as if revealing an undeniable truth. Jiang Yu quietly said, "Those are not ordinary eggs. They are our children." And with those words, the story's biggest secret was finally revealed, setting the stage for the next chapter. Xie Sui'an was left speechless when Jiang Yu confirmed that the two mysterious eggs truly belonged to both of them. Jiang Yu explained that among the serpent clan, snake eggs could only be formed when one's life essence merged with the aura of a lifelong mate. He had never considered it a joke, because it was one of his clan's oldest traditions. Xie Sui'an still could not believe that everything had gone far beyond normal human logic. Then he suddenly remembered the company celebration, when everything had spiraled out of control. Confused and overwhelmed, Xie Sui'an immediately blamed Jiang Yu for everything. But Jiang Yu calmly explained that he had not actually been drunk that night. It was the real gar wine that had caused a serpent spirit's powers to become unstable. Xie Sui'an remembered that he had poured the drink without knowing what it would do. The atmosphere immediately grew heavy as they both realized there was no way to undo the past. Jiang Yu decided that they had to take the two eggs to meet his grandfather and find a solution. The two of them immediately returned to Xie Sui'an's apartment. But the moment they got out of the car, Jiang Yu's face suddenly turned pale, his strength quickly faded, and he collapsed against Xie Sui'an. He quietly said that he felt cold and could no longer sense his connection to the two eggs. Moments later, Jiang Yu suddenly shrank into a small green snake. The little snake immediately slipped inside Xie Sui'an's jacket to keep warm, leaving him both startled and embarrassed. With no other choice, Xie Sui'an carried Jiang Yu and rushed inside to check on the two eggs, but the place where he had hidden them was now completely empty. Xie Sui'an froze when he realized that both eggs had disappeared. He wondered if they had hatched on their own, but Jiang Yu immediately ruled out that possibility. If they could not hatch by themselves, then only one explanation remained. Someone had taken them. The two of them hurried to the security office to review the surveillance footage. Ironically, the security system had been offline for maintenance at the exact time. After searching through the available recordings, they found only a few blurry frames near the apartment entrance. The footage showed a weasel-like creature appearing briefly before disappearing again. Jiang Yu immediately recognized that it was not an ordinary animal but a spirit beast. He believed its true target was the life essence contained within the two eggs. That also meant the creature would almost certainly return to hunt both of them. Since Jiang Yu was still unable to return to human form, Xie Sui'an decided to take him to meet the elders of the Serpent Clan. As soon as they entered the ancestral hall, Jiang Yu's grandfather looked at them calmly, as if he had already known everything, and the very first words he spoke left both Xie Sui'an and Jiang Yu frozen in place. Because from that moment on, everything was about to take a completely unexpected turn. Jiang Yu's grandfather's conclusion left Xie Sui'an unable to accept the idea of getting married just because of the two mysterious eggs, but the old man calmly explained that only the combined aura of both of them could keep the eggs alive. If the eggs were not found in time, their life essence would gradually fade, and Jiang Yu would continue to grow weaker. Even so, Xie Sui'an firmly refused the idea of marriage. He promised to help recover the two eggs, but once everything was over, they would remain nothing more than co-workers. Jiang Yu did not argue. He simply accepted the decision in silence. His grandfather sighed softly, before giving Jiang Yu some medicine to temporarily stabilize his condition. Before they left, he reminded them that Xie Sui'an's aura had always been naturally incompatible with serpent spirits, yet fate had brought the two of them together. The next day, they returned to work as though nothing had happened. After reviewing the updated proposal, President Zhou seemed quite satisfied with the teamwork between the two department leaders. He decided that he and Jiang Yu would personally inspect the project site the following day. Just then, President Zhou suddenly had a nosebleed, startling Xie Sui'an. President Zhou simply laughed, saying he was probably overheated and had already scheduled a medical checkup. After reminding President Zhou to get some rest, Xie Sui'an quickly found an excuse to leave the office. Jiang Yu could only watch him walk away and quietly let out a sigh. Xie Sui'an hurried to the restroom after being hit with a sudden stomachache. Strangely, the discomfort disappeared almost as quickly as it had come. That made him begin to wonder if everything Jiang Yu's grandfather had said was actually true. The more he thought about the missing eggs, the more troubled he became. Just then, his phone vibrated with a message from Jiang Yu saying that a client had arrived to see him. Xie Sui'an was shocked, because the appointment was not supposed to be until the next day. Outside the restroom, someone kept knocking on the door, urging him to come out. While hurriedly replying to the message, Xie Sui'an did not realize that he had tapped the wrong button. A few seconds later, he looked down at his phone and froze. Whatever Xie Sui'an had accidentally sent to Jiang Yu was even more terrifying than the two mysterious eggs. And at that moment, he wished he could disappear. If you were in Xie Sui'an's position, would you agree to marry Jiang Yu to save him and recover the two mysterious eggs, or would you try to find another way? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you are enjoying this fantasy BL series filled with mystery, drama, and unexpected twists, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss Chapter 13, where the mystery behind the one who stole the two eggs finally begins to unfold.